Good evening, everybody. Thanks a lot for joining us. What a day it's been, guys. What a day it's been. If you're watching this live, thank you very much. Fist bumps will be forthcoming to Shaka Boom, who was first, and Weasel Mount. Thanks a lot for joining us. I know there's a bunch of you here live already, so make it known in the live chat. Get your fist bump. For everyone who's watching this after we've been live, thank you very much. It's very much appreciated, and thank you for joining us. I hope you're going to have a great time. At any point in the video, in the stream today, guys, if you do laugh, you learn, you like something or whatever, please do like and subscribe and share and retweet and all that good stuff, guys. And yeah, I don't even know where to start. The last 2 days, my morning, I thought it's going to go like this, and then something's happened unexpected, and I've had to tear it up. And like, I've got like challenger budget teams here and strategy stuff and all sorts of stuff ready to get made and put out for you guys. And like yesterday morning, it was just tear up the playbook and get to grips with the SPFL. Did a bunch of streams, one for the members, one went public with McBride and Hendo, which was good fun. Unfortunately, just with conflicting schedules and whatever, Stish is away on a family holiday, Tony's got meetings and stuff, so the End Product podcast will probably go out Monday night, maybe Tuesday, just depending on timings and such. So stay tuned for that. It's available on all the podcast places. There's a video version on the channel this week as well, so feel free to check that out with me, Plastician, and Tony Watt. We had a great time, and I can't wait for the next episode. It should be good fun. And by that time, Tony will have played his first SO5 match, which will be great. I can't wait to get stuck into that with the guys. So anyway, and then today, like honestly, like as I mentioned in all the content I was putting out yesterday, the live stuff, members and whatever, like the McGregor Unique was the card. See, as soon as all the rumours came out in February and stuff, it was the card. I was like, I have to make sure that I get the McGregor Unique. It was the only card I had any real thoughts about whenever it was rumoured, in preparation for it, sell some cards, get some ETH together, yada yada. And when I seen it was the first card up, and like over the last month I went through some of the cards I've bought. I don't think I did it on camera necessarily. I suppose we could do it now since I'm talking about it. I went through some of the cards that I'd picked up over the last so we're scrolling back a couple of days here, you know, but as we go on, limiteds, the thing with limiteds is they don't cost much, but when you buy a lot, you know, I've got like 100 plus now, so when you're buying, especially rookies, because you never really use them, then yeah, it's money just disappearing almost. I've got a bunch of nice wins here with super rares and stuff like that, which is cool, but 1.3 going on 1.4 ETH for the Kostic, and then half an ETH between limited Goretzka and Akimi. Looking at the price of both of them today, that is like, they're very well priced today. I would highly recommend them if you're in the market for that type of card. Also, the cost to bring in some more of these super rares a few months ago when I moved on Darwin, and I actioned that off the back of spending an ETH on a unique, and you know, I spent an ETH as well on Acuna super rare about here as well. I think he's maybe on the last page, I maybe missed him, sorry. And then even 4 months ago, so this is April, yeah, so beginning of the year, half an ETH on Andre Silva, Silvio Lung, all of these limiteds which cost money, just under half an ETH on JJ, an ETH on Claudio Reyna, or Gio Reyna, sorry, I beg your pardon. You know, so I've went through a lot of ETH this year, and like, I think a lot of these things I've brought in have been like structurally important for FC Barcelona in a lot of tactical senses, and I guess I can just kind of spill and talk into some of that stuff now, I suppose, but I'm really looking. So anyway, when I seen that the McGregor was the first card up, I was just like, oh my god, this could not have happened any worse. I thought even when it did happen, I thought, right, well, there'll be some Rangers cards as well. Maybe McGregor's not first, but they'll probably want to put Kyogo first or Jota, I thought, you know, something like that. But no, McGregor was the first card on auction. So straight away I was like, I'm not going to have the cash for this. And I only had, like, as of going to bed last night, like 1.3 ETH in my wallet. And then I woke up this morning at 20 minutes after the auction had went, and when I seen that it had went for 1888, the bid that I went to sleep last night was the bid from You Never Walk Alone. I thought, oh, well, that's his opening bid. You know, there'll be other whales that'll be interested if he's interested, competition, yada yada. That's how that level of the game works. You know, people will want, anyway, didn't see it. Anyway, seen that and couldn't believe it, because I was like, Jesus Christ. And then I looked at my phone, you're not going to believe this, right? I received an email notification, I think like 3 minutes before the McGregor auction finished, I'm going to go off camera and see if I can show you it, just depending on how my email screen looks and all that caper. But I received an email. I received a direct offer this morning. At what time? Oh my God. I think, so the McGregor Unique closed at what time? 8 a.m. this morning, I'm sure it did. I received an email. Yeah, I can show you this. I think. Yeah, I can show you this. Wrong button. I don't know if you'll be able to see that, right? But 1 minute to 8. You can see that now, surely. 1 minute to 8. I received an offer for Slowick Super Rare for 0.8. So I would have had enough in the wallet to do one more bid. And it's an old card on the old networks. I don't know actually how quickly it would have all happened. But when I seen all of that, I woke up at 8:30 or something. Because I slept in number one and number two. I didn't expect that auction to be even worth me, giving it attention. And I just couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my God, it was like Goretzka all over again. But obviously it was You Never Walk Alone that won it, so I shot my message right away and I was like, mate, I will beg. And I even said to him as well, because at that point I accepted the bid for Slowick and I was like, just get the ETH in and have ETH to negotiate with. And that was a real gamble on my part. But I said to him, listen, and I had some offers that I'd rejected for Tito Hernandez rare and stuff. So I said to him anyway, I was like, listen, I can get about 2.5 ETH together and I can maybe throw a card on top. I'll beg you for this card, please. You got it at a great price. I can't believe it. And he basically intimated that the negotiation was possible. He couldn't believe he won it because he was flying overnight. He put on that bid before going somewhere or whatever, and would catch up later. And I was just buzzing. As soon as he said he knew he wanted to talk a deal, I was like, yes, I was absolutely so made up for it. And then he came back to me an hour or two later, whatever it was, and the deal was quite simple. It was the market price of what he paid for the McGregor, 1888 in ETH is what he wanted. And then he also wanted my OG Van de Voort in exchange for our man here, 4 of 100 from last season, with the cool picture, so I'm heartbroken to see the OG Van de Voort go. Formerly of, Blackpool, of course. It's all, what all goes on with those guys. But, so You Never Walk Alone now has the OG Van de Voort. So I've basically traded away sentiment, in essence, which I don't mind doing because I'm gaining so much more sentiment with the McGregor, if that makes sense. But this is the 1 of 100 OG Van de Voort. Now, if you're not really aware why this is important, I'm going to bum this card up even more, right? Van de Voort is on the platform. He has his own thing. He's under 23 goalkeeper, yada yada, right? But he's been an active under 23 goalkeeper for so long. It's incredible, right? Let's even forget about scarcity filters, right? Even if you just filter that season, there is only 6 cards from that season, guys. There is only 6. Mine was the 1 of, so that was the very first one. This one here, it's now If You Never Walk Alone, but he had the 1 of Super Rare, and I think he actually won this as a reward in a thingy. So he's now got the double, he's got both the Van de Voorts. Now for me, in actual fact, and I've said this to We Never Walk Alone when we were fanboying out on these cards when he got the number 1 job, and obviously now if you've been keeping up with the content on the channel, it's been confirmed that Van de Voort will transfer to Leipzig in 2 years from now. So his career trajectory is, it's not guaranteed, of course, but it's written down. We know where he's going now, and to this point he's looked pretty good as a under 23 goalkeeper of choice of many. But for me, I really like, this is the one I would want of all of these cards. I would actually want this one that's owned by Kreiter here. I don't even know if this is an active account. That's what you find with somebody. Oh no, this guy's still playing. So that's the card I would want the most, because that is the only one that says he's 16 on it. Every other card says he's 17, except for the Super Rare, which Mark has already. Actually, the Super Rare is the apex, right? Because it's the Super Rare, it's the 1 of, and his age is 16 in it. I've never really understood why the rest of them were 17. Maybe it was a short-term thing that they never ironed out with the cards, because these are all first issue So Rare cards as well, which is extra sprinkling on top. So all of the value of that is what I've traded extra to get basically a run-of-the-mill Van de Voort, which for all intents and purposes, I've took an XP hit on the short term, because that Van de Voort was at level 19 when I traded it. I think it's down to level 14 now. This guy's down at level 6 or something. So took an XP hit, I've traded away some sentiment, and I've got unique Callum McGregor for 1888. Now, like I said earlier, guys, this was, I'm not even going into the stream or answered the comments or anything. Thank you again to everyone who's joining me live and anyone who's watched this after we've been live. I'm kind of just getting it out there because I know you'll want to hear from me on this, right? But I could not believe, as could Mark, everyone who I've spoken to about this trade, people involved, people I'm close to, everyone put this card between 3 to 5 ETH, right? And that's really where I thought it was. And I thought, if the hype went mental for the Celtic stacks and people were thinking, shit man, this is Ajax all over again, better not miss the boat again with some of the key operators, I thought it could have went to 10, in the right circumstances with the right people motivated, because that's all it takes for an auction, is 2 or 3 people to be motivated enough that have the wallets where that's not an earth-shattering amount of money to them. So anyway, a big part of the reason I see that has been undervalued is I just cannot believe, for the love of me, it's funny, right? He's not showing up on my lineup builder, but he is showing in my gallery. We'll talk about a long way for a shortcut. I cannot believe for the life of me that McGregor is valued as low as he is. Rares are going for about a quarter of a coin, which, okay, fair enough. For a challenger mid that's not U23, that's actually okay. I think the super that McBride got was a steal, and I think the unique I've got is an absolute steal. And even £100 for a limited is good money, man. You'll probably get that cheaper off season, but everyone wants cheaper cards, so I don't think there's a great rush unless you want to be active with him for the remaining 5 matches. And having some Celtic cards active for the old firm, if you're a Celtic fan, I think it's almost a must do. Get a little limited for a tenner or something. I don't think all of them are that expensive, really, to be honest. But Callum McGregor has not had, so when you look at this season, right, so let's just look at the last year. Callum McGregor has only had like 5 decisive actions this year. He missed a wee bit of time with his face injury. I think this will be these DNPs around here potentially, or maybe these ones back here. And Celtic had a rotten start to the year. It's really forgotten about very easily, even though Ange did come in, and a big part of Ange's success is turning the squad around, because beginning the season, like Owen Moffat was on the bench, we're giving minutes to guys like Bolingoli, Barkas get minutes, Ajeti was getting minutes, all this stuff is forgotten, and all those scores, like all the way back here, like that's kind of what I'm talking about, this kind of first half of the season. And then other key players have been in and out, injured, bedding in, settling in, January transfer window, poor results in Europe, whatever. So I don't think this graph reflects anything. When you zoom out and you do this all, see back here, this is Callum McGregor. This is Callum McGregor, because Callum McGregor normally gets into double figures for decisive actions. And this year, like, unless he has, like an amazing... This says here he's got 14 goals and 15 assists. That's not right, because I've looked at his thing and it's like 3 and 2. That might be overall. That might be the all thing on the Sorare data graph. I just want to double check this before, unless I've clicked on the wrong fucking thing, made myself cut a tip. But I think he's due a lot more decisive actions. I think Celtic only get better next year once everyone's settled in, does a pre-season together, gets on the same rhythm, the same pattern in terms of like the season, when to peak and that kind of thing, which Ange has spoken about being very important already. But where is my boy? Callum McGregor. Yeah, so 28 games in the league, 2 goals, 4 assists. And if we look at Callum McGregor, he's normally good for getting close to 10 assists a season. 7 and 6, 10 over the last 3 years. That season was under Brendan Rodgers, 10 assists, 3 goals. The season after that, I think that's in the season after that, with Lennon. And then this year under Ange. But as you can see, getting around 15 decisives a year in the Celtic team is not beyond him, in my opinion, at all whatsoever. So when you sprinkle another 10 decisives on top of this graph, I think, I'm so made up, guys. I'm absolutely buzzing. And I say, the Van de Vet thing, like, I did trade away a lot of sentiment, and I don't mind, but I think the sentiment I'm gaining on top of everything else, because this is what then it flows into in terms of when I'm looking at this. So I've not even done this yet, right? But I've got this squad, right, which is Champ Euro SR. Now I didn't want to do all Euro SR, because to be quite honest with you, a lot of those guys I do plan on selling in the new season, like recent reward Hashioka, Sam Vines, who I've had for a while. These types of guys are great challenger cards, but I just don't need them anymore for a lot of reasons. So I had a Champ Euro folder, and I'm trying to maintain like a good amount of quality and depth across this. And I think I'm basically a defender away, maybe a unique defender away, and another goalkeeper from this being 20 cards. I think this will be a really good album, a really good squad, a lot of depth, a lot of different profiles, a lot of different leagues, coverage, yada yada. So I'm really happy with that. But with me now getting the McGregor, because the McGregor is 100% a D2 card for me, because my target for this year is to get up to 3 uniques, but I'm not putting any pressure on myself now. I've got a lot of rebuilding to do. I'm very light now in America. I'm very light now in Asia. We can have a look at the gallery there now. Like, I had to sell, when I said I had 1.3 ETH in my wallet before I sold the Slovak Super Rare, which was one of only 2, 3 if you include Tanix's U23. Yeah, so I had 3 Asian goalkeepers. One's gone now, so I'm down to 2 Asian goalkeepers. And I'm down to no like playing America forward of any description. Got Cabral. So let's take away the limiteds, right? I've got Cabral and Joveljic, Joseph who's injured, Mason Toy who's injured. So I'm really down to the bare bones in a lot of key areas out with Europe. So I now need to make a plan for like all Europe with this McGregor card, because I'm probably not going to go into Challenger with it. I'm probably going to be happy to complement these Champ Euro pieces and my existing like Asia Super Rares and America Super Rares for when they're in season, and with the McGregor cards I think it's going to be OP, to be honest with you. So I'm going to need to do a bit of evaluation on that, and I really need to get my ducks in a row in terms of making sure I've got a forward for that region here and a goalkeeper for there and all that kind of stuff. So we're at 20 minutes into the stream, guys. I'm just going to make a wee note of that. Sorry, and I'm going to move on from this. I'll get up to speed with the comments section with you guys. I've lost my pen. Did I drop it? No, I did. What time are we at? 20 minutes, yeah. 20 minutes. That's when we finished the McGregor ramble. So that's where we're at. And a bunch of the content, I'll maybe go into the strategy elements of this stuff a lot more. Like, because like I've been waiting for that card to come for so long, and because that's the case, like almost every move I've been doing since it was rumoured, but I was already thinking about all of this stuff in December when I was kind of thinking, right, next year, blue sky thinking, what could happen? What should I prepare for? What do I not want to miss the boat on? And Celtic cards, Callum McGregor Unique was top of every one of those kind of lists, if that makes sense. So almost every move I've been making for the last 5 months has had that card in mind, and it's such a... it's such a real relief. It's a real thing off the shoulders. It's how I've got it now. Like, I can now be free. I can now go back to just fucking about with rares and making sure I've got good compliments here, and maybe try some interesting stuff now and have a bit of fun, and maybe pick up some of these, because as much as I have squandered a bit of ETH, especially when I look back on it, man, I could be getting the whole fucking team on uniques, man, the way these auctions are going, if I hadn't done what I've done over the last couple of months. But then I wouldn't have that huge European contingent that I just showed you, etc. Anyway, we're moving on from it. And let me get the live chat up. Let me get up to speed with you guys. Thanks again to everyone who's joined us live. If you've watched this after live, again, thank you very much. I know you've got your fist bump because you were on the timestamps. Fist bumps to all. Martin O'Regan, Arsenal Dude, Evan Crightley, Joe Ducey, Pablo Valentin, Channy Sports, Connor R, Nico Belfiore, and is there anyone else? All you guys, fist bumps to you all, thanks very much. And it's just a line of congratulations and good evenings. Sound quality much better. Yeah, I had like 2 filters on my mic, and I removed the noise cancellation one. Actually, the last video I put out, I actually noticed a difference in the sound, and I thought I think I can hear the space in the room, basically. But if you guys think that sounds better, then great. As long as you guys are happy. I know you probably have a list, but Luis Araujo back from injury and he'll smash. I'm kind of done with Atlanta now. I think like Joseph getting injured again, Barco transferring out, and even Brad Guzan getting injured. Like, I'm kind of emotionally done with Atlanta now. I'm kind of in with as much Atlanta, Brooks Lennon and Ronald Hernandez as well. Like, I'm Gutman. I've got like the whole defence basically. I'm kind of done. When MLS comes on, I'm all about NYC. That's really what I want first and foremost, because this season NYC are MLS Cup champions, so we're going to have the star on the badge, and like, I'm an NYC fan. Think of that what you will, but I have followed them since their bloody first pre-season. Anyway, I'm as much of a fan of that club as anything else, and I'm digging the fact we're going to get shirts this year on MLS with Sorare. And NYC are actually the champions, so multiple levels of sentiment on it again for me, so that's what I'll be doing. I even sold out a Galaxy a little bit. I sold my Chicharito, I sold my Jonathan Bond, I sold my Sean Johnson rare recently as well, with some of the activity that's been going on in the account, and part of that is to try and fund anyway, getting NYC guys with shirts and stars, kind of idea. So many lineup builder streams today. I love it. I managed to watch Harry's for, I think I caught all of it, and then I was on a call with my pal, so I put it on mute, and then I went and go back to it. It seemed to be finished, but I think Harry put a tweet out, maybe had some technical issues. I don't know if he's resumed. If so, make sure to catch that out. Harry's got a great channel. Make sure you subscribe. Stefan, my man, good to see you, my man. Liam VP Roberts, fist bump to you as well. In group, wow, fist bump to you, my man. Good to see you. Yep, Connor, I got the Calmac. I'm fucking buzzing. Stefan, yeah, I've caught up with everything. Congratulations, thanks very much, my man. Liam VP Roberts, I think your name is. Thank you. Advise on moving up from D5 to D4. I won Global All-Star D5 in Game Week 261 and making my first step into rares. Love it, Francisco. Well, really, the best way to answer a question like that, Francisco, is it is so hard through the camera because, like, it's hard to know the temperature of the room. You know, how ambitious are you? What's the budget? What is your flavour? You know, what do you like? What excites you? What have you got a knack for picking out players-wise in terms of what's good value for money? All these things should be like... It's funny, I actually watched another video yesterday. It was to actually do with content creation or whatever, but they were talking about boxing things in. And that's kind of what you need to do with that. With any strategy, really, that's kind of, if you wanted to boil almost anything down, advice is going to be from me to you through that kind of prism. So it's always going to be breaking it in, you know. So like I just said there, you know, what is it you're into? European football, brilliant. What do you know a lot about? Most of the major leagues. Okay, cool. What do you like? Oh, I like attacking fullbacks and I like teams that play like this, and I actually like guys that win a lot of tackles or headers, And once you get all the way down into like a real subcategory, then you'll only find like 4 players that match that, and then it's about finding your budget and planning your execution, because if it is European cards, you've got a bit of time on your side because utility is diminishing, and there will be some people that will panic sell. That will just happen. There will be no rhyme or reason to it. No one will be able to tell you, oh, it's going to be this midfielder or that goalkeeper. One person will have a guy and they'll be thinking, shit, I want to sell this guy now because I want to go buy this other guy, and they'll want to cut their face off and maybe take a 5% hit on the market just to get it out. And you need to be ready for those things to crop up, which is always what I always say when you're doing any sort of target ID, is to have a list like 4 times as big as what you need. If it's you're moving from D5 to D4, right? Okay, let's say you in your mind you want one lineup of 5 cards, and you have estimated, because you're going to stick to one division or one region or one catchment area or whatever it might be, that you would require 12 cards or whatever. Make a list of 48 and then get the best, you know, blah blah blah. Yeah, you've heard it all before, I think. Who are you looking to get as your third unique? No idea. I think that'll be an opportunity one, to be honest with you, similar to Dennis Suarez, where it happened. You know, I wasn't planning on getting a Dennis Suarez unique. I wasn't planning on getting a unique at all, really, other than I wanted 3 at the end of the year. I think I got that in January, and it was on the market for an ETH, and I'd missed out on Brais Mendes unique for an ETH on auction. And boy golly, I'd much rather have a Brais Mendes unique than a Dennis Suarez, because he's at the beginning of his career. And when you watch Celtic Vigo, Brais Mendes is the star of the show, to be quite honest with you. The third unique will most likely be opportunity driven. I don't imagine I'm going to have the wallet to get another Celtic one. Maybe I will, you know, who knows, we'll see. I'll keep myself open to it, of course I will. What do you recommend on an extremely low budget? Challenger Europe is absolutely covered in it. If you're starting off with limiteds, especially if you're on an extremely low budget, Challenger Europe Limited is the best place to live, because so many of those guys play for, you know, you'll be buying cards from Celtic, Salzburg, Bruges, Porto, Benfica, Ajax, PSV, Dinamo Zagreb. Those are the clubs you'll be buying players for to compete in that league. And those players, depend on the profile you're picking up, either have a really good career at that level, or they're at the beginning of their career, they do really well, and then they move up into Champion Europe, which is where everyone wants to be. Ultimately, that's the most expensive division to play in, and more likely you'll find these guys playing football you can watch, Europa League, or if you can't catch their domestic competition, maybe Champions League, depending on what we're talking about. So Challenger Europe is always the region I recommend everyone starts in first, especially if you are based in Europe, because you'll be so much more familiar with, like, you know, the 5th best team in Belgium. You've maybe came across it before or whatever. Do you think Carter Vickers... Sorry, 2 seconds, I've maybe jumped over one there. Owen Davis, fist bump, good to see my man. Joshua Suker, fist bump, thanks you very much. What do you think of the CCV SR price? I think it was mental, like mental. I don't know if they're overvaluing the U23 badge. I don't know if they're overvaluing he's going to stay at Celtic, or if they think he's just that player and he's going to be that player for the rest of his career. The thing I would say, right, see, for all of you people, oh, my camera, no, 2 seconds, I'm going to need to go to the backup. I don't know what's happened there, guys. I'm really sorry. I had a problem with, I wonder if that wire. 2 seconds, guys. Please bear with me. I'll come back to this question. No, that's so bizarre. Camera, but I don't know if it's back on. Sorry, guys. I don't know if it can't be overheated. It's not been on that long. 2 seconds. I need to fix the wire now. Oh, for God's sake, man. 2 seconds, guys. For God's sake. Hey, oh, for God's sake, man, this wire is doing my tits in. I hope it's the wire anyway, from about the camera port. Oh, for Christ's sake. Seconds, guys. I think I've just about got it. Oh, for God's sake. Right, cool. Oh, Jesus. I think I need some new wires. I'm really hoping to God that's not like the port in the camera that's a little bit. Sorry, guys, let me just get his bag. I think that will do it. Yeah. A wee bit off now from where we were. Terribly sorry, guys. What question was I kind of jumping through there? I'm really sorry. Oh, yeah, I was talking about, so I don't know with Carter Vickers. Yes, this is exactly what I was going to say. I don't know with Carter Vickers. And again, yeah, this is what I was going to say, right? So any of you who aren't like Celtic fans, you've not been close to Celtic like much longer than the last like couple of days or whatever. You'll need to, Celtic fans will be able to tell you about a man by the name of Kelvin Wilson. Okay, now Kelvin Wilson's a very different player, different situation or whatever, but he's the last player that I kind of think of that was like not really rated that super highly in England. That came up here, did really well, and then just disappeared or whatever. And I'm getting that kind of vibe with him. Like, I think if Celtic qualify for the Champions League group stages automatically, especially by winning the league, then I think these guys, all the guys that we're thinking about, I think they all stay, really, to be honest with you, Jota and CCV. But I don't think there'll be any serious negotiations. I don't think anything will be signed off until the league is won and Champions League group stages is in tablet confirmed. So the price, like, if he stays at Celtic, if he signs a 3-year contract, 4-year contract, something like that, then yeah, I think the price is roundabout kind of what you'd expect for a high-end, like, global defender who, can go into Challenger and compete with the best of them, to say the least. So it's tough, but if Celtic don't win the league or somebody bigger comes in and pays him more money or something like that and he doesn't stay, then there's a real dice roll happening, like, because he could do some really good scores, but he won't do 3.3 for a super rare worth of scores, So that's what I think about He's definitely the best defender to get, I think, out of Celtic, but I don't think that's a stretch to say. 2 seconds. Where were we? Do you think... this is the next one from Sco. I'm guessing it's short for Scotland or something. Gamer, fist bump, thanks for joining us, my man. Do you think Carter Vickers could be a good pickup even with the rumours of him wanting to go to the Prem, yada yada? Yeah, for the right price. 3.3 for a super butt is not the right price for that kind of thing. Internal temperature too high. Interesting. I'm just going to go to camera 2, guys, right? Camera 1, it's bugging out, it's heating up like mad. So, I'm going to need to sit here now. On the camera from the cupboard, as we'll call it. Let's kind of readjust a little bit. Let's get comfy again. Right, okay. Right, let's check it out. Where were we? I'm kind of doing Q&A now. I guess I'll kind of run like this for... I can just show you my teams. I've kind of picked them, to be honest with you, but we'll run Q&A. I'm quite enjoying this stuff, to be honest. So Carter Vickers, like, if you're thinking that's the worst case scenario, picking him up, like, it's not actually a bad worst case scenario, like, he goes to the Prem or he goes to the Championship. That would be good. If he did end up in the Championship somehow, if somebody wanted to pay him like mega money, on a free agent, 'cause I think he is a free agent as well, end of season, then yeah, that's not a bad worst case scenario. If the best case scenario stays, worst case scenario goes to the Championship, then that's not bad. But again, 3.3 for a super, hard to say. Hello from Albania, Babani Johnny, fist bump, good to see my man, thanks for joining us. Hail. Patience is key. Owen Davis, you are right. Monfrere, thanks for the answer. No problem, Francisco. Joshua Suker, saw you got Coney Rare for a quarter of a coin. It seems a steal for next year. I totally agree, Joshua. So I was actually, again, before... sorry, camera 1's still over here. 2 seconds, I'll just hide that. Can we bring camera 2 in? I don't know if we can. Doesn't seem to want to. No, it doesn't seem to want to. That's weird. Yeah, we'll remove camera 2 from that. This is camera 3 technically, that's why. Sorry guys, just the way I've named things. Ignore me, and you don't need to worry about my camera settings. I'm just thinking out loud with y'all. There we go. And then you don't need to see me for this. Cool beans. Right, so what was I going to look at? Oh yeah, the Coney. So I was looking at so the situation I'd found myself in was rare midfielders that are U23, especially for next season. Like, I'm criminally under-equipped going into the start of next season. Reina, cannot rely on him whatsoever in any way, shape or form. Tyler Adams I think he's got great AA potential, but he's just not getting into that Leipzig team now the way that Conrad Leimer's playing. Campbell seems to be first choice also, and Haidara's been in and out with fitness, and I think he's got more of a claim to be first choice than Tyler Adams, so it makes it really tough to get that AA game out of him. Camavinga is going to be in and out until there's departures at Real Madrid. Wirtz is out for a sizable amount of time, and Ferran Torres is the man. Ao Tanaka's maybe, let's see what happens with Ao Tanaka next year. And Joachima Fujita isn't really in the team at the moment. Palaversa's moderate. That's all I had. Whereas Coney, honestly, been so blown away with this guy. I've had his limited, and I was actually saying this to Laird, want to do a video on a different type of market strategy that's quite similar to stuff that we've all done in the past. But I've had his limited for a long time, and I've been very impressed with it. And the thing with Coney, right, is he is only 20. He just came from, I forget where they signed him from. It will tell us on Sorare. Maybe Sorare data as well. No, maybe not on. Maybe if we click, no. Let's just click on this, it'll be easier. Who did they get him from? Toulouse. Okay, so he came from the Toulouse Academy, played a bunch of games in Ligue 2 and done pretty well at the age of 19. He went to Gladbach and has started 23 games this season with 2 goals. This is his first season in the top flight. Technically should be his rookie card. I think that's the rules. Because Benjamin Sesko got a rookie card in the same circumstances in essence. And for his first season in the German Bundesliga in a struggling Borussia Mönchengladbach team, I think his stats are very good. And as you look at this bar chart thing, he almost guarantees you around 50 points. Even in a moderate game, he's going to be around 50. And he's slowly but surely getting into those high 50s on his AA game now. as you know, Gladbach starting. I know some of their opposition recently have maybe been a bit more favourable, but he's starting to get more of these 57s and stuff like that off his AA game. And then when he does he's had a couple of goals this season. 2 goals, no assists. So for a quarter of a coin, I think that guaranteed around 50 from U23 mid before multiplier, I think is actually, for me, I think it's a really good pickup as a little insurance policy for like, you know, just make sure I've got a competent midfielder that can go into a high level. Because I've obviously got my Celtic attack stack, and I've got some really good defenders as well, like Guardiola and Eric Garcia. So he was just really, for the price, a quarter of a coin. And that was the day before the SPFL got announced. So again, I was like, oh my God, I just spent a quarter of a coin on something I don't need for 4 months. Or whatever it is. I could have kept that and got him. I got him on auction. Nice bid, and happy I won it. And yeah, buzzing about that. Weasel Mount says, I'm not sure what that is. Oh, it's probably for the cameras. I've just started picking up a few Scottish Prem youngsters for a low price as possible and planning on holding and hoping for the best. Not a great deal lost if it doesn't work out. Not a bad strategy at all. And like, I'm always very fearful to get into those types of strategies, because like, you are reliant on like just stuff you've got no say over, in terms of like people getting a hard on for some of these guys, their form being stellar to where it gets eye-catching attention, or a big transfer happens, or yada yada. You're asking for like a lot when you're doing it over multiples. But honestly, you just need to look at McBride Ace. Like, he honestly, every time he tells me he's doing stuff, like especially over the last year or so, when we've really spoke much more, when he's like, when limiteds came out, he's like, I'm buying them all basically. You know, backup keepers, he buys them by the dozen, all that kind of. I'm always like, man, you've got some balls on you, man, but it's paid off for him. So anyway, if you're happy to speculate in that fashion, I have only seen it work out for people that do it with a good strategy and are very disciplined on entry price. So let that be in your considerations. Something overheating in Glasgow? Yeah, I think it is. I don't really understand why the camera has overheated. I don't think it's been on that long. I've just changed the battery as well. Maybe the batteries were warm. I'm not too sure. Anyway. Some cameras overheat after 30 minutes. They're not meant to stay on for so long. This thing is done. That camera's been my camera one the whole time I've been in here. I've done like 3 hour. I don't know if I've done a 3 hour stream, but I've definitely done a 2 hour stream in here. But no, you're quite chatty, I suppose. But I don't know. The heater's over there. Maybe the heater's had something to do with it. How does today rank? Today's like mega. Like honestly, like it's. As I say, I've meant to do so much stuff today, and it's just like I'm just looking at this card. I'm like, it doesn't feel real, man. I'm like, maybe if I make a video talking about it, then it will feel real. When then I kind of get ready to go, and I'm like, oh, what team am I going to put him in? And then so I'll show you my teams for this game week. The team Calmac's going into this guy. So see now, guys, like, and again, regular viewers of the channel hopefully can appreciate this, right? But I look at this prize pool, second or third almost every week, and star super rare, tier 1 super rares for the top 5. Something that I've been waiting to really like attack and go after, and I've been close, but like one decisive in the team with moderate super rares, etc. So I'm waiting for like, there's only 5 games left of the Scottish season, so I'm getting 5 rolls of the dice for the Calmac. If I can pull one big performance off, and I mean top 10, I know top 10 you're still going to get a tier 2 super rare, but for me that's a decent milestone. If I can get top 10 in All-Star with the 5 rolls of the dice of the Calmac that I've got, then I'll be very happy, and I'll call it ultimate success in the immediate term, and we'll go from there. In terms of otherwise, because I am so thin on the ground, I've got a punty team. I think you might like this team, but a bit of a punt team going into Challenger Euro. I'm managing to cover Rare and Rare Pro for U23 of all divisions, and I'm just going All-Star and All-Star Pro, so I'm not getting any Champion Euro action, not getting any of my Spanish cards playing. I've not got the goalkeepers to cover America or Asia, and that's partly because one of my goalkeepers is an underdog rare. So that's the way I'm attacking it. So we'll start with the mixed division, and I'm putting a known DNP goalkeeper in. This is like the best of the rest of the outfield super rares. If lightning was to strike, then hey ho, let's see what happens. Underdog limited, I sold Rui Diaz, who was also in this team initially. Timo Werner's in decent enough form at home at West Ham. West Ham will definitely have one eye on Thursday. I know Chelsea have got European commitments also, but it feels like West Ham, you know, have got a real serious match on their hands with Frankfurt. It's a semi-final. It's a real do-or-die situation for both teams involved. So I think Chelsea will probably be in a stronger position at home, despite the midweek fixture and how that went. But Timo in particular, his personal form is really kicking on. Sensei will play, should get around 40 odd points. If he does if he actually shows up for once, then I'll get a 70 or 80 out of him. Same with Arajo, and Axel Werner is an underdog goalkeeper for life. Trademark Quinny 3001. He's also in my specialist league. He qualifies as one of the underdog cards, as does Jorginho Rutter, who's not in great form, but he will play at Hoffenheim. Frankfurt, also similar to West Ham. I'm feeling they're going to have one eye on Wednesday or Thursday, whenever their game is. And then the midriff tier of the team, Kostic, Hakimi and Haaland, big power players, we know. And I've got Haaland against Bayern, so I just expect him to score, then it's training. And limited, I've just thrown some teams together. I've not really paid too much attention. I've just tried to get guys that will play and kind of look like they'll play, and whatever, we'll see what happens. 5 limited squads. And then for rare, so I think Jesse Moulin might get one more game. I was speaking to Jeremy Magan, and he reckons that the goalkeeper that's injured might be back, but he didn't even make the bench for the game midweek, and I find it hard that a goalkeeper that wouldn't even make the bench would go straight into the first 11 against a big opponent, and they are like a relegation dogfight. So I think he starts, and this is a great all-star rare team. I'm really happy with it. I do expect it to compete as long as all the guys show up, of course. Good multipliers on all of them. Captain Zelarayan is just a kind of easy choice. You know, SKC aren't particularly amazing this year. Zelarayan hasn't had any kind of wonky situations with fixtures or whatever. It was kind of between him and Arnold, and I just think Zelarayan's just a bit more capable of getting to 100. All-Star Pro, Grandsir will start as my fin. So with Galaxy, I'm really torn on how they're going to play. I think Galaxy are going to start with a midfield. I think Galaxy's attack is basically going to be Grandsir, Efra, Douglas Costa with Chicharito, and then the midfield is probably going to be like Delgado and Raveloson or whatever. Nashville are on a terrible run of away matches. Galaxy are doing well enough. Grandsir is hitting form. He's at home. He's got a 32% multiplier on him for the super rare. I think he's an easy choice for this division, as is Kostic. I don't think Kostic gets 90, but I think he'll play a significant amount of time and can get decisive. Angelino's decisive capable at home to Union, who they just beat in the Cup midweek, so that fixture will have a bit of spice on it. Monaco with Nubo, he's at home to relegation threatened St Etienne. And Captain Kyogo, I'm backing him to start big time. I'm putting him in my key division, and I'm going with it. I'm backing him to start. Under 23, we're recalling Timo Weah. There's going to be a debut for Kai Ducone. Josko Guardiola's my defender. There's also a debut for the new card of Van de Voort, and Ferran Torres is going to captain the side. Pretty straightforward. Under 23 Pro, I'm excited about. Renato Sanchez did 92 midweek before multiplier, so he's hitting form. They're at home at Strasbourg. It's a tough game, but he'll be on the ball a lot. He'll be involved in a lot of duels and stuff like that. Attempted assists, through balls, interceptions. So I expect him to rack up big AA points. I just don't want Lille to concede too many goals, and I don't want Renato Sanchez to get booked. As long as those things don't happen, I think his AA game is capable of getting him into the 60 pluses even without it decisive. And then with the super rare multiplier on him, similar goes with Taylor Harwood-Bell. It's not an amazing fixture, but I think he'll do a lot of the actions that score points. So as long as Stoke don't concede too many goals, I think these super rares are going to be fantastic to pair with the Celtic attack stack of Captain, Jota, Till I Die and Dies and Maida. I think that will be the front three for Celtic: Jota, Maida and Kyogo. I think Ange Postecoglou is going to be trying to get the same team that will play Rangers to start against Ross County, get the game won, rotate minutes from there is what I expect. And then Schubert looks to be playing, and his fixture is more favourable than Van de Voort's, so he makes it into this team. And then Challenger Pro, Snodgrass dropped out a 99.99 in his last match. He's at home to Blackpool, who are bottom of the league and floundering, and he's captain. And Cham, I don't know if he'll start. Rio Atati, I don't know if he'll start. There's no real guarantee that Long will even start either. I'm really just, Vines and Snoddy are the only two that are nailed on here. I was very tempted to try and get an SPL card in to replace Olivier and Cham. I might still do that. I'm not going to buy a card to do that, but if I can buy a card, I would buy anyway on an auction like tonight that's affordable and doesn't rock the boat and whatever, then we'll do that. But with his 11% multiplier, it's a decent enough risk to take that he starts. If he does start, he can do 70. And Lung played the Cup semi-final after having a stinker in the league at the weekend. So by all accounts, he looks to be number one, should be starting again, but because he did have a clanger in the league last weekend, maybe he's lost the league position, and the club honoured that he played cup games potentially. I don't know. Actually, I think they've had a lot of keepers playing the cup, in fact. That might be bogus. But anyway, it's not nailed on, so I'm hesitant to put Lung in a better team. I'm hesitant to put Lung, for example, into All-Star and then pull Mulan out of here and make this a champion team and take Zella Ryan out and put maybe Ferran Torres or somebody in. I don't know. So I'm hesitant. I kind of want to keep him. Rio, I'm not certain about. I think Rio's more likely to start than not, because it has been a week since the cup game, and Ange doesn't give players rest, even though all this stuff's coming out, he's fatigued and whatnot. Like, I don't know, I would not be surprised if Rio starts, but there is question marks. He does look jaded, does look in need of a rest. So yeah, that's the teams for the midweek. But then we come to, I'm only going to get one super rare team out anyway because of the goalkeepers I've got. So this is the only super rare team we're getting out. We're getting Unique Calmac, Hassel in goals, Brooks Lennon, who's away to Miami, decisive, capable, 31% multiplier, love it. Saka's got the other side of the double header with Daegu. It was a 1-0 victory for Daegu today. Urawa need to win. They had all the possession, all that kind of stuff. Daegu kind of got the lead, and according to the statistics anyway, it seemed to be Urawa controlled the game and didn't create any chances of any description. So the pressure's on. It's going to be a tight affair, and you know, Asaka's on pens, and yeah, he's not going to get rotated. There's no danger of that. Nemeka will play at home to Mines and is goal dangerous, goal capable. And see, one of the things that I fucking love about this card, by the way, is it's got the captain, he's wearing the captain's armband in the picture. You know what I mean? This team is capable of doing all sorts of numbers. It really is. Obviously things need to go my way. My guys need to score goals and make assists and play good football. Of course they do. But if this bunch of five do, then I could be winning all sorts, guys. Let's have a look at, why am I so excited? Let's have a look at, forget the star super rare, let's look at the tier 1 for a second, right? The tier 1 supers, Mickey Yaman, Kosai Tani, Mazraoui. You know, these are some tasty tier 1s. This is the global pool. Valverde, so there's some guys I'm not familiar with, of course. Lukas Sucic, Inagaki. I'm sure I've heard somebody talk about Inagaki quite a lot. I can't remember who now. A few Korean guys I'm not au fait with. Jordan Morris. These are all super rares, guys. Marcus Thuram, Ricardo Pepe, Luis Alberto, Dogan Almandar, so that's a goalkeeper, Nicholas De La Cruz, Dane Sinclair. Really good pool. So if I can get into the top 5 or something, then lovely. If I can get top 10, I would get a top tier, a top of the tier, tier 2. And you know, a lot of these names at first glance don't actually look that inspiring, to be quite honest with you. Renato Augusto is probably the first one. Quadrado, Lacroix, I'd love a Lacroix out of a tier 2. Mvogo could be handy. And a few other bits and pieces there. Vimmer, I think I've seen as well. But the dream is, guys, the stars do align. And when the stars align, we win a star super rare. What do you get? What do you maybe get if you win a star super rare? Oh, I don't know. Maybe an Mbappe super rare, or what about a Haaland, or a Lewandowski, or a Neymar, or a Goretzka? Anthony Timber, Heel. Now, guys, this might only happen once a year. Might only happen once a season, whatever. But I feel I've got the cards now where I can look at this and go, maybe I win it one time. Maybe I win it one time. So yeah, that's me with my game week especially. I'm going to catch up with the chat again, guys, because I like to have a wee bit of the Q&A, and we'll probably wrap up after that, to be honest with you. Where were we? All the camera chat. Have you looked at any of the new Argentina cards? I've not looked yet, Francesco. I'm probably, I've also got a Barco card that's injured at the moment, which is also putting a bit of U23 pressure on me in the immediate term. But there was rumours long ago that the full Argentinian division was going to come on, so I really want to go into Argentina, but in terms of actually acquiring cards, I really, because that rumour exists, I am hesitant to commit to, I'm going to go get that goalkeeper and that defender, etc. I've got Axel Werner, who's a great opportunity card that I picked up, and the Barco, you know, but I'm definitely into Argentina. I want to be into it. Tom Lawrence, an SR Carter Vickers sold for free ETH, which is mental. I know. We spoke about that earlier, sorry. So if you've been watching this live, when you catch the rerun or whatever, you'll hear us chatting about that. Camera name should be Old Faithful.
Great, I'm going to change that. Not on stream because it's too footery. That camera will sadly only cause you issues moving forward, mate. Dealt with overheating ones myself. Some models are not meant for staying on that long. Sell that one if you can. Oh, okay. I'm going to check it out because I think like I'm using like decent but like third party charging wires and HDMI cables and such. So I'm going to change wires first before I change camera. Might be a waste of money, but at least the wires are always useful, you know. And yeah, thanks for the advice, Butchani, because I know you will have trodden that path. So I do take that wholeheartedly. I appreciate the advice. I'm looking to just get some Celtic players and see what they can do in SO5 and have some fun. Get the limiteds for sure. Start with the backup guys as well, especially if you know guys are going to rotate in, like Ralston, if you know when he's going to play, or like Ideguchi or Turnbull or Rogic when he gets a card, etc. Just try and get the ones as cheap as you can, because there's lots of limiteds. You usually need to wait, unfortunately. You will get cheap ones, especially when everyone's sleeping, especially for limiteds, because there's so many of them. Can't wait to watch Baron and McCrory. Loving it, guys. We're getting the SPL cards out already. If anyone's bought any Dundee United players, Charlie Mulgrew or Tony Watt, let me know. I have them as well. Fergie, Ramsey, Calmac. Too expensive for me as well. Fergie's an SO5 monster this season. The thing with Lewis Ferguson is he's got massive transfer jeopardy, you know, absolutely massive. Maybe he goes to the Championship, which I think would actually be a great move if you have like a rare or super rare of him or whatever. The Unique, it's funny because then like, is that the ceiling of his career? Is that what you want? It's hard to say. I hope he's like, you know, Weaselmount likes the lineup that we've got for the McGregor, and you know, I don't need that many things to go in my favour. I need the Saka to get a penalty, I need the Mecca to score a goal, I need Lennon to get an assist. All three of those things are like not a stretch. Same with Calmac. And then Hassel, does he keep a clean sheet? Don't think I'm too bored if he makes a couple of saves. You know, it's very feasible this does alright, you know, and this isn't even my apex team, you know, so I'm buzzing. I'm glad you think so as well. Got a cheap Jack McKenzie, hoping he makes a start. Good stuff. As Sorare keeps adding more and more leagues across Europe, do you think they would ever split Challenger into A and B? I'm actually going to do a video talking about what the evolution of Challenger could be, so I'm really sorry, but I don't want to go into that in too much detail. But I've got an evolution of the Challenger region. I actually did one about 6 months ago, maybe a year ago, which is still kind of relevant, and I will reference. You'll be able to find it on the channel. It'll be like the future of the Challenger region or something like that. Should be able to find it. Some lineups you've got there, Quinny, best of luck. Thanks very much. It's the chip within that overheats, nothing to do with the cables normally. Yeah, but I think like I ran out of battery on this camera, and just before I came on, and I shouldn't have ran out of battery because it was also plugged into a charger, if that makes sense. So the fact that it still overheated, and I think that battery died, that battery came out warm, and it's charging now. It's at half, so maybe didn't totally empty the battery. I don't know how long that takes to charge actually, if that's 5 minutes or whatever. So I'm thinking that battery like running down dry, it's heating up obviously because it's getting used, and then when I put the new battery in, it's ready to go, but everything inside is really hot because of the last battery. And then again, I'm putting more pressure on the new battery because the charger wire I'm using isn't charging the camera, isn't like using it for power, so it requires the battery and yada yada. So I think that might be the root of the problem, and if it is just like the energy getting sucked from the battery that's causing the overheating problem that means I can't keep it on for the length of time I require, then I think a new charger wire will cure that. I hope. Actually, I might not need to. I've got an extension cord over there, in fact. It's probably cooled down enough. I'll check back within a wee minute. We've been here in like 56 minutes, guys. I actually need to pee. We've been through teams and stuff. I am down a camera. I think we had a great Q&A session tonight as well, so thanks very much, guys. I'm sure a lot of you came here to kind of wish me luck and whatever for my Unique, because I've kind of made a big deal about it on Twitter and whatever. So thanks very much to everyone who did turn up to come and catch the stream tonight live, and everyone who's caught it after we've been live, of course. It means the world to me. I'm happy to hang about for another minute. What time are we at? 8:30. We've been streaming for 57. I'm happy to stay for definitely another 3 minutes or so. It looks like some of the rare Scottish Premiership goalkeepers can go on auction for 500 to 650 for rare goalkeepers. Wow, do you think this could be a good time for me to buy a first rare keeper? Well, I think a rare keeper for that price is like
pretty good, to be quite honest with you, especially with Challenger. The SPFL has got a winter break in it, which I don't think many people will have taken into consideration at this stage. But the winter break, it's like not too bad. Like, so I think it's like a month, but it starts from like kind of like Christmas Eve, so it's not like the Russian one or the Austrian one or anything like that. So I think like, yeah, normally around like maybe Boxing Day or something like that, I think it's meant to stop, and then come back like 18th of January. It's like a 3-week one or something like that. It's not that bad. But there is like, you know, you'll see the calendar runs all the way to the end of the main like Champion Euro, main European calendar. So I think it could be a great price for a goalkeeper, especially if somebody who's a guaranteed number one that you want to play SO5 with for at least, because this is April, let's say the next 14 months by this time, by June next year, 14 months. Then if you're happy to use that guy for that length of time for the sole purpose of SO5 with no potential of resale value, then that's a great price. And then obviously if you do have potential for resale value and you yield in time, then that you can obviously add that on top. You know, I can't predict the future, but yeah, I think depending on who we're talking about and if they can deliver for you and they can play every week, then it feels like a great price for a rare keeper in this day and age. I do feel equally as passionate about those kind of prices if they're applied to Turkish goalkeepers. Much longer season, no break of any real description, and generally just less sexy, even in the Scottish League, because Scottish League's English speaking, a lot of us are high on it, and I think the exposure that's going to gain on Sorare is only going to grow and accentuate through the community through time. You know, like I've said it before, Kalmak is here to dethrone Lord Hans Vanaken next season, and once we get that banter going, like we need to come up with a title for Kalmak, you know, not Lord obviously, but I'll come up with one. If you guys want to help, of course, by all means, I'll take any good ideas that come. But when we get some 100s out of Big Kalmak here and he's leading the line for me in All-Star D2 to a Star Super Rare, then yippee-ki-yay! Appreciate the advice. Looks like I'm doing some late night shopping tonight while everyone's sleeping. It's worked out for me a good couple of times, even recently. Like, I got the Kostic Super Rare for 1.3 and that was on a late auction, and I really do feel that was a great price. Sean Newsham won a Super Rare Kostic recently and cut his face off on a deal just to liquidate it. So it sold for, to this guy Frankie Sinatra, I think he sold it for like 0.85. This guy got a bargain. I thought I was getting a massive bargain. Sold it for a good discount. And since he sold him, he's just like hit big scores. But yeah, like 4 months ago one went for 2.5, 6 months ago one went for 1.7, and he's going to be moving to Inter Milan next year. So I got this guy in a midnight auction, and I do feel like I put one bid in and I wasn't challenged. That's why I feel like I got a good deal on it, because the ones that go unchallenged, you do feel like there will definitely be people that just weren't interested at the time or weren't aware to the situation. So it doesn't work all the time, you know. Sometimes people do. I'm setting alarms for maybe some midnight action with some of these Scottish cards, depending on when they come up, because I might. So for those who are determined, and you know, you've maybe get two determined people that wake up in the middle of the night for an auction, generally the ones that get it. We've just been going for over an hour again, guys. Thank you very much to everyone who's joined us live, everyone who's watched us after we've been live. Thank you very much. I wish you all the best for the game week to come. My game week I'm just leaving. In fact, guys, I'm actually chasing down rewards, so we may have a rewards trophy day. I don't know what's left to run, in fact. So I've got Captain Ferran Torres, who could shoot me into some big prizes if he kills tonight. So we're back in Ferran in a big way. That game's a bust. Eric Garcia is on the bench. Harry Trades called it. And this team, unfortunately, with super rare Soraya and super rare Renato and Werner is goal, this team has went busted flush. Can this team do anything? Frankie starts, probably not. And this team, nope. No sign of David Silva. So we're just, Ferran Torres is the only thing we're chasing down tonight. If he can kick ass and take names with like a 80 plus score or something, we'll probably get a pretty decent prize. But yeah, have a great game week, guys. I wish you all the best of luck, and yeah, I'll catch you on the next one. Hope you've had a great time, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share and retweet and all that good stuff.